Welcome to the Sauce and Gravy channel. This is Johnny Mac, the Gravy Guy. I'm going to show you how to make a delicious Instant Pot recipe. Beef tips in a delicious homemade brown gravy. When working with an Instant Pot, it's always good to start off with the prep work. Make sure that you have all of the ingredients ready to go. Begin with the onion, slice off the top, peel it back, give it a little chop in half, and then at that point you can remove that pesky skin. The onion can be cut however you prefer. But for the most part, beef tip Instant Pot recipes are hearty comfort food, so I'm going to quarter the onion and then give it a nice slice. That way this Instant Pot beef tip gravy will have nice big chunks of onion. Now up to bat, the garlic, give it a pop and smash it into the board to help remove that skin. This is a large piece of garlic, so I'm also going to chop it in half so it'll fit into my garlic press. If you don't have a garlic press, you can mince the garlic and get it ready to throw into the Instant Pot. Alright, so the prep work, it's really quick, it's easy, we're almost done. This is the last step before we crank up that Instant Pot. We're going to work with the beef. Grab a baggie or a bowl. I'm using a baggie. I'm going to put just regular old flour. You can add some spices to the flour if you like. You could put salt, pepper, some garlic powder, onion powder, whatever you prefer, but I'm just using regular old flour. For this recipe, I'm using 1 pound of pre-cut store-bought chuck beef. Sirloin or round or any sort of stew type beef will also work, but I'm putting it in the baggie with half of a cup of flour. Give it a nice shimmy or shake to coat that beef really well with all of that flour. So there you go, pretty easy, huh? Instant Pot beef tip prep work complete. Here we go, grab that Instant Pot, press the saute function. We'll work with sauteing the beef, the onions, and the garlic first. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes, but once the indicator reads hot, then you're ready to start sauteing. We're going to start off by sauteing the beef, so we need to add oil to the bottom of the pan. I'm using olive oil. You can use any oil that you like. Vegetable oil works perfectly fine, but I'm putting in about 2 tablespoons. Watch it. If the oil starts to run out and there's not that much in the bottom of the pan, you can always add more at any time. Give that beef one final shake to make sure that it's well coated with the flour. The goal here is to sear that beef really quickly. If you can give it a little bit of a brown, that's great, but we're also sealing in flavors, but we're not cooking it all the way through. And work in batches, don't overcrowd it, don't put too much beef in the pot at one time. If you do, then it will lower that temperature of the Instant Pot and you won't get as good of a sear. And I'm sure that you've noticed that the oil, it tends to pool on the sides of the Instant Pot just because of the way the shape of the Instant Pot is. So it's a good idea to place the meat in on the sides, coat it in that oil, then you can move it freely about the Instant Pot. After all of the beef has been sauteed, place it to the side. We'll add it back into the Instant Pot in a moment. The Instant Pot is still on the saute function. Add 2 tablespoons of olive oil and then drop in all of the onions. Take a spatula, give these guys a stir. You can cook them as long as you like. Just make sure that they're translucent and tender, but you can caramelize them and give them some color if you prefer. So I browned the onions around the edges and now it's time to add the garlic. Give it a quick smash. Throw it on into the Instant Pot. Cook this for roughly about 30 seconds. You don't want to burn the garlic. So moving right along here, now it's time to deglaze the pan with a little bit of red wine, 1/3 of a cup, in it goes. Grab a spatula, scrape the sides and bottom of the pan to release all of those bits and pieces. It's important to get them up because, number 1, they add flavor to the gravy, and number 2, if they stay on the bottom, it could lead to a burn error. Once the wine's pretty much all reduced, add 2 cups or 500 milliliters of beef broth. Again, give it a quick stir, scraping the sides and bottom of the pan. Now it's time to add some additional seasonings. Add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and then a dash of pepper to taste. To add a little something something to this homemade Instant Pot brown gravy, a little woo-woo sauce, 1 tablespoon, drop it in. To round out the flavors, half of a tablespoon of soy sauce. Give it a whirl, make sure everything is well incorporated. And for the final ingredient, the beef tips, drop them on in. Give them a quick stir to make sure that they're evenly distributed in the Instant Pot. And that's all there is to it. Now it's time to let that Instant Pot do its thing. Put the lid on the Instant Pot, make sure it's in locked position. Close the steam release handle. Press the pressure cooker button and make sure it's on high setting and change the time to 20 minutes. And while the Instant Pot is doing its job cooking these beef tips, it's the perfect time to make either some mashed potatoes, some rice, some noodles, something to throw these beef tips on. Once cooking time is complete, you can do a natural release of the gas pressure. That usually takes about 20 minutes. Or you can do a safe, quick release per the manufacturer's instructions. And if you have time, the natural release method would be the best route to go. It tends to make that meat a little bit more tender. Give the gravy a taste. Add some salt if you like. Throw in some pepper if necessary. The gravy itself is pretty thick as it is. That flour that we used to coat the beef, it's already thickened it up a little bit. But if you like your gravy thick, a cornstarch slurry is a great option to make it a tiny bit thicker. Add 4 tablespoons of water, that's about 60 milliliters, to 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, that's about 29 grams, and give it a stir. Once the cornstarch slurry is well combined, put it down to the side. It's time to adjust the setting on your Instant Pot. Put it to the saute setting. Let it come to nice rolling boil. Once it starts to boil, take the cornstarch, give it a stir because that cornstarch tends to settle on the bottom. Grab a whisk and drop a small amount of that cornstarch slurry in at a time. Make sure that you're whisking while you do it. Bring it to a simmer, check the thickness. If it's not as thick as you'd like, add some more of the cornstarch slurry, give it a stir, bring it to a boil, and once it's as thick as you'd like, you're ready to go. I just used that small amount of cornstarch, now you can turn off the heat. This is perfect consistency, this will coat any sort of noodles, it's perfect for mashed potatoes, throw it on some rice, whatever you like, knock yourself out. So that's how you make an Instant Pot beef tips with a homemade brown gravy. Thanks for watching the Sauce and Gravy channel. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe just yet, smash that subscribe button to learn new sauce making tips and techniques. And if you like Instant Pot hearty comfort foods, click on this Instant Pot Salisbury steak meatballs recipe, and I'll see you next time.